Maintaining secrecy while operating the covert intelligence agency poses a unique challenge. This video explores the journey of MI6, tracing its transition from obscure commercial spaces to the state-of-the-art fortress, known today as Vauxhall Cross. The story of MI6 headquarters underscores the importance of architecture in shaping an organization's identity and operational effectiveness. How do you keep a building secret? Maybe you find an undercover location hidden away from prying eyes. Or do you design something that blends in, the kind of place you might walk past without thinking twice? And who do you keep that building a secret from? Can you even keep it a secret from the people who built it? The building here is not just the London office of the world's most famous secret agents, it's also the real-life headquarters of SIS, Britain's secret intelligence service. Better known to the rest of the world by its nickname, MI6, the building is a secure, cutting-edge fortress, but its predecessors have often been the exact opposite, and the story of how the service ended up here says a lot about how it's evolved. As the Cold War dawned, the limitations of operating from commercial spaces became evident. MI6's need for secure and discreet operational environments led to a shift in strategy. The service moved to locations like St. James and later Century House, which, despite their disguises, failed to provide the required security. This is how Britain built its spy headquarters. Vauxhall Cross, to give the building its proper name, is a monumental edifice of espionage. Its imposing imperial design is kind of the modern face of the iconic service, but it's actually come a really long way from SIS's more humble origins. Before Vauxhall Cross, SIS stayed true to its motto of always secrets by simply hiding in plain sight. In 1909, according to the brass plaque on the exterior, this building was the office of Messrs. Falcon, limited shippers and exporters. Only a select few were aware it was actually the headquarters of SIS founder Sir Mansfield Cumming. Cumming was a workaholic with a long legacy. He signed his name C and wrote exclusively in green ink, a tradition which continues for the head of the service to this day. He was also obsessive about secrecy. In 1919, when he moved his office to this townhouse in West London, visitors were first instructed to go to an office 6 kilometers away on the Strands, where they were then given the address. He even tried to keep the location from his boss, the Director of Military Intelligence. SAS continued the practice of renting commercial office space under a false name for the next few decades. But as the Cold War dawned, the limitations of that approach quickly became apparent. In 1964, the service was preparing to move out of this building in the exclusive St. James area of West London, where I've been posing as the Minimex Fire Extinguisher Company. Much to the horror of the service, the current landlord started showing prospective tenants around before they moved out. On one day, a so-called Russian trade delegation came through, prompting frantic covering up of maps and other material. Later that year, the service moved south of the Thames and rented the newly built Century House. This is how the building appeared then. But in 2001 it was refurbished and turned into residential flats. The new HQ was much better at a time when the existence of the service was still officially denied by the British government. The occupants of Century House were widely known. The Daily Telegraph even quipped that it was London's worst kept secret, known to every taxi driver, tourist guide, and KGB agents. But it wasn't just the building's identity that was an issue. It had large glass windows that were perfect for snooping and a petrol station at its base, making it the perfect target for an attack. Each of these headquarters reflected a different part of the service's history. The clandestine offices of the embryonic service, the exclusive Broadway house that housed the service's Oxbridge graduates and mine aristocrats through World War II and the 1950s, and Century House, the dysfunctional HQ of a ramshackled organization riddled with double agents, best summed up in John Le Carre's call, the trilogy. By the 1980s, the building had become completely compromised. A 1985 report labeled Century House irredeemably insecure, and the hunt began for replacements. But where to go next? As the service looks for new premises, most options are ruled out because of the need to share the space with shops, restaurants, or private accommodation. Any location outside London was ruled out because of the distance from other government agencies. Then, out of the blue, a solution was put forward. In 1987, Regalian Properties plc approached the government, offering them the chance to acquire a proposed development on the south bank of the Thames. The government quickly agreed, but the intended occupants were kept top secret. But how do you keep a massive new spy headquarters secret from the people who are actually building it? Well, a National Audit Office report published back in the 2000s shed some light on this. To avoid any future embarrassment with a landlord, the decision was quickly taken to buy the building outright for a price of £135 million. But even this nearly let the cats out of the bag. Government-funded projects are usually paid in installments throughout construction, with each payment offering a chance for public scrutiny. Instead, the Treasury arranged for the payment to be made in full before construction started. The property developer, Regalian, would then design and construct the building to a standard office specification with the addition of some specialist equipment such as emergency generators and a document lift. This was, remember, still the 1980s. Once the main construction phase was completed, a further £10 million was spent fitting out the building to require standards. The same project managers and construction teams were kept on to complete this, with SIS itself then coming in to complete the most secret tasks ahead of the building's opening in 1994. So the question you've all been waiting for: what do you actually get in a top-secret headquarters? Well, as you might expect, most of that is actually top secret. But here's what we do know. The building itself is a fortress. 25 different types of glass were used to meet the specific needs of this structure. Its triple glazed windows and stone exterior is bomb and bulletproof. Extra thick doors were specially designed to make the perimeter as secure as possible. Inside the complex, there's rumored to be a shooting range, ultra-secure areas where eavesdropping is impossible, and a Faraday cage which blocks incoming radio waves. In a Financial Times interview, a spy said how employees are instructed to turn off all mobile phones long before they get in the building. In other words, pretty secure. Change had become inevitable. Why did we say this? Because, as the Cold War ended and the service continued to evolve, the construction of the new headquarters was seen as an opportunity to create a new, more public face for the service. Prime Minister John Major pledged to sweep away the cold web of secrecy surrounding Britain's spy services. When the new headquarters was completed, it was named SSHQ. But that was actually the first time the British government had ever officially even acknowledged the existence of SIS. Ultimately, we'll never know what really goes on over there in Vauxhall Cross. But what this story shows us is the power of a building to shape the organization within it. MI6's journey from operating in plain sight to establishing a cutting-edge fortress mirrors the ever-evolving nature of espionage and the importance of architectural design. The transformation of MI6 headquarters, from obscure commercial spaces to the state-of-the-art Vauxhall Cross, underscores the intricate interplay between secrecy, security, and the built environment in shaping the identity and operations of a covered intelligence agency. Friends, what are your thoughts on this issue? Do let us know by commenting below. If you liked the video and you want us to cover more details about this, then feel free to drop a comment for the same. See you in the next interesting video. Until then, thank you for watching this video until the end.